This guy, his name is Miller, and he's dead now, and I'll tell you how he happened.
Contacted a co-worker named James Pack, hired a hitman to kill Donna Miller, Bob's wife.
I was coming back from BCI when the call came in, and I was in cruiser, so I went directly to the scene. Bob Schwitzer at that time was in charge of the detective section.
The Donna Miller case was called in as a shooting, and when we got there, she was deceased. There was a gas truck driver that delivered gas to rural farms. He observed a Thunderbird backing out of Donna Miller's driveway. The initial hunt was on for finding that Thunderbird, and later we found out that they had run it through a car shredder down in Drexel, Montgomery County, Ohio, to get rid of it. I don't recall how we got on to the suspects in this case, but initially everybody thought it was the husband, Bob Miller.
This guy, name is Miller, hired this guy from GM. He also worked at GM.
Bob Miller had contacted a co-worker named James Pack. So this James Pack hired an associate of his
that knew somebody who would kill his wife, because she was going to divorce him, and that meant she was going to take the house. So they hired this guy,
Jack Stidham, to actually shoot Donna Miller. So on the day she was killed, this James Pack went to the Miller residence, knocked on the back door, and when she come to the door, he shot her and killed her. And he left in that Thunderbird, and that's when the gas truck driver seen her.
It was within the first year, or maybe 6 months, that they knew who done it.
Through investigation, James Pack had a relative who knew about the murder for hire, and Detective Eiler was assigned to get with this family member, get a statement from James Pack or Bob Miller about the murder for hire. And that went on for several months, and it didn't work out real well, but we did get some corroborating evidence. When it went to trial, Jack Stidham, James Pack,
his nickname was Six-Pack. They ended up convicting him and the actual guy that shot her.
Both pled guilty, and we went to trial against Bob Miller. And Pack testified that, of course, that Miller asked him if he could find somebody to kill his wife, and Pack said, yeah, he'd find somebody, and he found Jack Stidham. I remember James Pack saying, I was sitting eating lunch watching the Channel 7 news at noon, and I seen where Donna Miller had been killed. And Pack said he was surprised because he didn't think Stidham would ever do it. So anyhow, them two testified against Bob Miller. One of the chemists from the Dayton Crime Lab, Monomoy Valley Regional Crime Lab, went out on his own and started his own forensic business, and he testified as a defense witness at that trial as a firearms expert. Well, the trouble is, he was a chemist. He was not a firearms expert and never was, but the judge allowed him to testify as an expert, and he got up and testified about a bouncing bullet and how the evidence that we presented could not be because of the trajectory of the bullet and where it was found and everything, and bounced off of here and bounced off of there, he testified. Somehow the jury found Bob Miller not guilty, which was unbelievable because the guy that shot her said Bob Miller was part of it. The middleman said it was Bob Miller. So anyhow, he was found not guilty. Life went on, and then one day
he marries this woman, another woman, And long story short, they started to get a divorce.
I remember it's Friday, it's like 3:45. Bob Miller is in the lobby at the sheriff's office and wants to talk to me. So I go up, talk to him, and he said, my present wife has 5 pounds of marijuana in the house right now. So I went down and told one of the other detectives, hey, we need to get a search warrant. We're going to go over there and get this marijuana. We prepare a search warrant. We go over there to execute the search warrant, and his present wife is there. And she said, yes, I have marijuana. It's here in the closet. She knew she was going to be charged. So she says, well, while you're here, you see that big screen TV? You see that giant toolbox out in the garage? You see all of that? Well, last year he filed a burglary report and reported all of that as stolen. And he moved it out of the house. When he got his money from the insurance company, he moved it back. We charged her with trafficking in marijuana, and we charged him with insurance fraud. So they were both convicted. Time goes on, and the next thing we find out is...
Well, she hired some guy to kill him. So this guy planted dynamite outside his bedroom window. Well, Mr. Miller found it.
Threw 2 pipe bombs. One landed in the window and blew up. The other one landed in his bed and didn't blow up.
Because the guy basically didn't have any clue how to do the bomb.
So he wasn't hurt. So through investigation, we found out that it was his ex-wife hired 2 knuckleheads down in Montgomery County. As time goes on, a few years later, I get a call at home on a Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning, I think.
So Miller then moves to Kentucky. Well, he gets into it with a neighbor down there, and the neighbor shot and killed him. So, you know, what comes around goes around. Yeah, the hell, that was justice.
Very bizarre from beginning to end.